Seaside Band. Good morning, everybody. So wonderful to be here, and it's an honor to welcome you this morning with your beautiful, brilliant, radiant faces. This morning we have a practitioner who is holding the light, holding the consciousness, and really anchoring in that consciousness for this morning's message, and his name is David Yankaskis. So give him some love while he comes out here. So David will be sitting over by the prayer center, where you are more than welcome to put in your prayer. If you are feeling like you need a little encouragement, a little push, go ahead and put in your prayer. If you feel like everything is going amazing, go ahead and put in your prayer. Wherever you are, your prayers are always welcomed. Okay, so Seaside is a thriving happening place. Things happen here all the time. So you cannot be bored here. There's always something that calls you, that moves you, that shifts you. And here are a few things to keep in mind. So for the teens, if there are any teens here, the teens are meeting in the Emerson room. Roxana Campos will be taking the teens, she is our team leader here, to go get ice cream. So go ahead, parents, if your teens are here, you can walk them over to the Emerson room, sign the little waivers so you know where they're going, what kind of ice cream they're getting, the whole shebang. So that is happening during second service. Also, graduation. Graduation is happening the second week of June, and that's June 2nd. And what's so amazing is that during graduation, there is this like budding consciousness that happens here at Seaside. It happens all the time, but on graduation especially. So this is where the practitioners are graduating. This is where the ministers are graduating. So after years and years and years of studying and practicing and putting their work out there, they get to walk this stage and they get to leave here with their certificates, with their masters, or with their minister's license. So that's happening. The graduation is happening here on June 2nd. Brian Adkins is leading the whole volunteer group. So go ahead and sign up with him. You'll see him in a little bit, and you'll know exactly what Brian looks like, so you can sign up with him. So what else is happening? So many things. Education. You'll notice that you have an education program in your program. And you'll notice it because it's bright lime green. You can't miss it. And in there are so many classes that you can start taking. I know that I started here with foundations, and I am now in Prac 1, and it's absolutely changed my life. I know, you get it. You totally get it. And if you want to get it too, go ahead and sign up for a class. We also have New Members Sunday that is happening April 14th. I know that the New Members Lunch is happening at, I say this wrong, but I like saying it, Cicciotti's. So it's happening at Cicciotti's. If you want to become a member here at Seaside, go ahead. See Tina, who is waving her arms in the back. She's so excited to see you all. And if you want to sponsor too, if you want to become a mentor, if you've already become a member, amazing, wonderful, we love you. Become a mentor so that you can help and assist someone that has just gotten here to Seaside. We also have Good Earth Day with the sisters happening in the garden, the celebration garden here on April 19th for Good Friday, Good Earth Day for the planet. So there is information on that in your programs. That's happening the Friday before Easter. And of course, Easter is happening. Woohoo! Yeah. All right. Thank you. I'm excited. Easter's always fun. People show up with their hats. I'm just playing. I really just want to see Easter where people show up with hats, but you don't have to do it. So this is happening on the 21st of April. We're going to have a 6 a.m. service, sunrise service. You get to see the sun come up and the moon go down. It's very magical. Bunnies run around. Sometimes you see birds. It's very yeah, it really does happen. We're going to have the choir out here. We're going to have the band out here. That's for the 6 a.m. And you get breakfast. Okay, I guess I'm the only foodie here, but you get breakfast. And then at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., it's always a wonderful experience. The Easter Bunny will be here, so don't miss that. That's going to be exciting. And, of course, there is a powerful, powerful, powerful message from Reverend Christian. This year is Beyond Appearances. And this Friday, guess what's happening this Friday, y'all? Ricky Byers is coming. Yep. So Ricky Byers will be here on Friday from 7:30 to 9:30. You can get your VIP tickets. We're giving them away, basically, right? $75 for a $110 value. $75 for your VIP to get your ticket. Make sure you get your ticket in the family room. At the end, you'll get to hear more music. And, of course, throughout today, you're just going to hear so much love. And, of course, Ricky is so much more than just music. She is she's just a ball of energy. Like, I want to be like that. She is just a ball of energy. She is full of so much spirituality, so much energy, so much love, so much patience, so much gratitude that comes from her. It's amazing to see and witness. So that's Ricky Byers happening here on Friday. And with all that being said, we may now stand and greet our neighbors.
Everyone, let's all stay standing together. We are going to sing Holy, Holy Way together. This is a little call and response, so I'll sing and then you sing, okay? Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve. Oh, let me care for those around the world. Oh, let me care for those around the world. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in
Woo, all right. Thank you, Danielle. Perfect song for this morning with Ricky coming. Are you coming Friday
I
night?
am going to be here on Friday night.
Oh, that'll be fun. All right. You gonna bring your sweetheart?
I'll bring him, yeah.
Oh, good. That's good. Anyway, good morning, Seaside. Woo, what a joy it is to be with you on this fabulous spring day. There is excitement in the air. There is love. Friday night's going to be fabulous for sure. You got your tickets? That's why we haven't sold out yet. Not everybody has got it. I could hear that. But I got to tell you what, this morning is fabulous. And what's going to unfold here is going to be powerful, dynamic. And I'm excited to experience what that is because it is Spirit touching down now. So wherever you may be on your spiritual path, know that you're welcome here. No matter what is going on in your world right now, know that this morning's message is catered specifically towards you, and it is all about healing that we're in. So if there's any area in your world that could use a little shift, you are in the right place to be inspired to experience the divine download. You up for that? Okay, well, to take us to a deeper place is a wonderful practitioner here at Seaside. This is Trudy Psyche. Woo!
Thank you. Isn't it a joy to have Reverend Christian as our minister? Honestly. Whoosh. What a guy. Well, let us take this time to go within. And all that means is just a simple shift within your body that allows you to breathe deeply, and let us go within. And although just for a short time we gather in silence, there is such beautiful power. So I am knowing an alignment, an absolute consciousness that allows me to see the God in you. It is joy, it is love, it is abundance, it is beauty. And I am swimming in it with you. We know there is one presence, one mind, one essence that is in love, in charge, in teammateship with us. I recognize God as the beauty and the love and the allness, that this divine presence is within the very being of who we are. We are of God's stuff. And there is no separation. There is no division. And so coming from this posturing, I am aware of the possibilities for this day. For this day has not yet been fulfilled. It can be anything we choose. It can be filled with more love and more peace, more abundance. We can let go of some old things we don't want anymore. There is such potential. And here you are. Here we are in this beautiful community called Seaside, for which I am so grateful for. And so whatever it is you've brought here with you, know that it is being listened to, it is being loved, it is being held in the arms of Spirit. For you are a gift. And I recognize the Reverend Christian has prepared something beautiful for us. Can't wait to hear it. And all the support that went with it, we just bless and know they bring their gifts, and they are beautiful. And so we simply begin today with a smile and a breath, knowing that today is just amazing. And so it is.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so
Thank you so much, Danielle, for your beautiful song. And Trudy, thank you for your wonderful prayer. Good morning. My name is Brian Atkins. I've been a practitioner here at Seaside for 17 years at this point. I am now in my 6th quarter of ministerial school, and I am loving the process. If you're new here today, please know that you're very welcome here, and that we have new member or new person packets that are at the entry of the north side of the building as well as the west side of the building. So, Mark Diamaz is a publisher and a writer of several spiritual books. Says that a true spiritual center, one of the true great things of a true spiritual center, is that they reach out into the community and lift the community up. And one of the ways that Seaside does this is through its Heart-to-Heart program. Now, the Heart-to-Heart program is a little bit different than just doing a straight tithe. That's a great thing to do as well. To actually give money away to the community is a wonderful thing to do. But with our Heart-to-Heart program, it's our effort to go out there and actually help to lift up and improve the community around them. And today we are going to be honoring one of the groups, which is called Doors of Change. And I would like to welcome Joanne Newgard to come up and talk about it. So Joanne.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, this is very different than the 9 o'clock service. Thank you for inviting me into your church. Reverend Christian, Kathy from Heart to Heart. Thank you for introducing me, Brian. Doors of Change is a nonprofit that helps homeless youth. San Diego, as you may be aware of, is 4th in the nation. It's an epidemic. It affects each and every one of us. We support the 18 to 24-year-olds. I call them the forgotten kids. There's a lot of services for young people, for families, for vets, all which is important. But this group, which we refer to as TAY, Transitional Age Youth, are often forgotten. They're aged out of foster care. They come to us with learning disabilities, drug and alcohol addictions, abusive home lives that they're usually running from. And they come here with hopes and dreams, but they don't have a plan. And they need all of us to help them, support them, to help them become self-sufficient. So today I'm here to ask for you to think about how you can help this group. This is our future, these kids. We want them to become self-sufficient. We don't give handouts, we give hands up. They need to know that they have self-worth, regardless of what home life they've come from. So we at Ocean Beach, twice a week on Thursdays and Sundays, provide a safe place for them. We offer music and art lessons. That's a first step, a first goal setting. And then we have a case manager on site that helps them. She's been with us 10 months thanks to a grant we were prayed for, and in 10 months she has placed 45 young people back into their homes. We have so much more to do, but I thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me speak about Doors of Change, but mostly I want to ask for your prayers and your love and your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne, and don't go away because we have a little gift to give you, so please come back. And all right, thank you. All right, take it away, Danielle.
Thank you, Brian. All right, well, this morning, once again, we have just a fantastic guest artist with us. I had the morning to chat with her, and she's told me about her gratitude for having been introduced to this community by the great Reverend Fran. And she's down here all the way from LA visiting us from the Agape Spiritual Center. She is a singer, songwriter, producer. Her vocal styling's just blowing me away all morning, and I am so moved by her, and I know that you will be too. So please give a big Seaside welcome for Arne Batson.
Good morning, Seaside. Good morning, Seaside. That's what's up. Oh, yes. What a beautiful day. You make it seem like Los Angeles is so far away. It's just a subway ride. It's not that long. So I am grateful, as always, to be here again, to visit this lovely community. I love the garden, the poems, the stones. It's just a wonderful space to be in. And I am bringing you a song from one of my very favorite people in the world, one of my very favorite singers, songwriters, the incredible Ricky Byers, who you all are going to get to see on Friday, right? And the song I'm going to do is a title selection from a CD that is in your bookstore now. It's called In the Land of I Am. And you can sing along too. Maestro. More than I will be. I am all that I am. Everybody, in the land of I am more than I have been. I am more. I am all in the land and the soul. And the souls of all my great-grandmothers and the dreams of all my great-grandfathers and the way to rise beyond the pain. It all lives, 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 it lives. It's all in me, and it's in you. Your grandmothers and you, grandfathers and you, oh, in the land of I am, all that I have been, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that in the land of I am, all that I have been, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I am. Let me hear you. I am. We are. God is. God is. God is, God is, God is in the land. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That is Arne Banson, gracing our stage with their presence. Once again, we've missed you.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. My goodness, you're living up there in Northern Cal. Oh, there you go. There you go. Arne Banson just blessing our stage with the great land of I am. Woo! Wow, my whole being is just singing with that. I just got to get back to earth, or not. Just bring it from that high place anyway. Oh, what a joy it is to be here. We are in the midst of the Lent season, and we're doing it a little differently, as you know. Rather than giving something up for Lent, which is kind of the discomfort of rejecting something, we're embracing. We're embracing our greater good. We're embracing our vision. We're embracing that which is enriching our life. We're embracing that for which we're being called to. How does that feel? Yeah, it is so much more fun. And so we have sacred circles going on every week, and they ask you in that circle, what are you going to embrace this week? And they pray together. So just to give you a heads up, sacred circles, some are still open. There's 3 weeks left. Feel free to check in and be part of that. And we have been going over we've been going over the keys to healing. I've shared with you, today's the 5th one. But the first one was, if you remember, seeing as God sees. Very important to healing. You know, forgiveness, absolutely. Got to be able to let it go. Surrender, big thing. Last week was about wholeness. And today, Tracy McCoy put together a wonderful sacred circle that's based upon the renewing of the mind. A wonderful a quote that comes from the Bible. Don't be conformed to this world, right? But be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you might be able to discern, what is right and good and perfect. So you can discern what is Spirit's to do, not the ways of this world. And so this morning's message is, you got to make an adjustment for healing to happen. I like that one because it's like a no-brainer, like, duh. I got to make an adjustment if I want something different to happen in my life, because if I keep doing what I've been doing, I'm going to keep getting what I've been getting. And so all of a sudden, if I come to realize, okay, this is no longer feeling good, I've got to begin to make this adjustment in my field of awareness, within my consciousness. I've got to see as God sees. I got to forgive the mistakes. I got to let it go. I've got to surrender, my position, so I can begin to be available for the wholeness to emerge within my life. And that happens by renewing our mind. That's the way it works. It's by renewing the mind so I can be available to God. The first quote from Ernest Holmes in this week's Sacred Circles, Tracy put in there that said, the realization of the presence of God is the most powerful healing agent known. It's really that simple. A realization of the presence of God. If I can begin to experience a presence rather than being consumed by what it is I don't want to experience, rather than being consumed by the fear, I've got to recognize that, you know what, there's probably needs a change to go on my life, to go on in my world. I mean, if something's not working, if there's something that keeps showing up in my life, it becomes necessary to realize that, you know what, something wants to change here. If something's going on, it keeps grabbing my attention, saying it's not working, it's not happy, it's not healthy, so I got to pay attention. And so really the first part about embracing change is to ask yourself, do I hear it? How often do I need to go on before I can hear something? I remember once driving out in the Mojave Desert. I may have shared this. The car was making a lot of noise out in the desert at nighttime, so I said, turn up the radio. Couldn't hear it any longer. But it eventually blew up in the middle of the Mojave Desert at midnight, and that's another story for another time. But I want us to get, so the first thing, when something keeps grabbing your attention in your life that's saying, hey, something's out of balance, you've got to, do I hear it? And once you hear it, do you accept it? No, I turned up the radio here. Do I accept what is going on? Well, usually what happens is it's initially rejecting it for a while. I don't need an adjustment in my field of awareness. I'm just not going to deal with it. And eventually it comes around to getting your attention. And once you realize I got to do something with it, it's not as if it goes easy, at least not for me. There's still this inner battle between yes and no. The Hamlet in me, the one that needs to deliberate. Do I kill him, kill myself? That deliberation goes on within the consciousness. There's something that says, Christian, you can get it right away. I hear it. Something needs to be adjusted in my field of awareness. I've got to create a new kind of opening for that spirit to come in so I can experience a greater sense of peace here. I've got to stop ignoring what is going on, because ignoring doesn't mean it goes away. It's saying, Christian, it's time to up-level here. What may have served you, but it's not anymore, which is why it's talking to you. And so what I want to do is go to God. But what happens is when people go to God, oftentimes they go to a God that's outside. Hey, God, man, I need you to go destroy my enemy. God, I need you to do this for me. Which the concept that, God is my servant, it's going to obey what I am going to say, that it's withholding something that's going to go work on my behalf is a little off. This is where some adjustment can go on, because as we know, God is omniscient, right? That means it knows everything. It created the universe and the galaxy. It's pretty much got it handled. Really, when the last thing it needs is me saying, hey, Christian, or a Christian, hey, God, go do this. God's not going to obey. It knows everything. It knows what is going on, and it is omnipotent. You got that? It is the only power. There's not going to be a fight between God and something else so God can come out victorious. There is no power other than the omni-everything. It is the power. So there's not going to be a fight because I told God to obey me and go do something, right? And then the other omni is it's omnipresent. It's everywhere, right? So that means I can't set God somewhere because it's already there. So the all-knowing, wise, only power there is already where my difficulty is, where that change wants to take place, for that greater realization, for that which is stressing me, challenging me, or bringing me to my knees or waking me at night. What I've got to do is have this adjustment, renew my mind, and say, okay, I get it, man. The doctors are scaring me. The banks are scaring me. But you know what? That's not the truth. The presence is already there, and I have got to begin to adjust my field of awareness so I begin to recognize that the presence of God is seeking to emerge there. And these experiences I'm having, they're natural human reactions. That kind of concern, the stress, the anxiety, the worry, they come up because we're in this incarnation doing this thing life, and they're hitting us where we're vulnerable. It's bringing questions up, but we'll never really know our strength until we are able to deal with some of our greatest vulnerabilities. The Spirit of God is right there, and in the midst of all the challenges, I've got to make the adjustment and renew my mind, say, God, I'm coming home. I'm coming back. I realize you haven't gone anywhere. I can't send you on my behalf. What I've got to do is make myself available to the greater expression in this rising vision that is within me. And maybe I've made mistakes. You know the story. We're familiar with the story of the prodigal kid. You know, grew up in a pretty nice home. And, hey, Dad, I want my inheritance. I'm done. I don't want to wait till you die. Would you give me what is rightfully mine? And as we know, Dad said, here you go, son. And he took off. And the kid gone wild, you know. Spring break all the time. He partied, hung out with the wild ones, had friends until he ran out of money. Then he had no friends, and then he had debt. He had no work. He had to work in the field as a laborer and had to, feed the hogs, which is not a very high-level career move when you've got it all going for you. And finally, when he's starving and eating the hog's food, he said, God, man, at least my dad's servants are better taken care of than me. I'm going to go home. Yeah. I know that I don't deserve to be any more than a servant of my dad, but I'm going back. And so he gets the gumption. He's heading home. He gets to the bottom of the driveway, and he sees his dad like outside. He's been waiting for him almost. He said, man, Dad's going to let me have it now. And he starts walking, and Dad comes running to him. And he said, oh, man, I'm in trouble now. And what Dad does is he gives him this big old bear hug. And the kid goes in, Dad, I made a mistake. I did wrong. I did all these mistakes. Can I at least be a servant? You take care of them better than... I don't want to hear any of this. You're my son. Let's throw a celebration. You have returned. And he's trying to convince the father how bad he is. And say, no, I love this part of the dad. He didn't even inflict guilt. He said, he didn't go, hey, you did wrong. I told you not to. You should have listened to me. How could you have? He didn't say any of that. It was behind him. All that mattered was there was this embrace and said, welcome home, my child. I've missed you. He said, but Dad, I'm not more worthy than a servant. You're part of this house. You're part of this home. You're part of this. This kid couldn't figure out. He couldn't find satisfaction buying things, buying friends, goodies. He tried. And what you come to recognize once you go on that track is you can buy yourself stuff and have a little satisfaction for a while. But that which doesn't satisfy your soul, you can never have enough of that. You can never have enough of that which doesn't satisfy your soul. You've got to find that which is yours to do. And what you do is you make these adjustments in your life. You begin to renew the mind and consciousness in those areas that are little rough, and you begin to move in that appropriate direction. You may make some mistakes, but I love what Groucho Marx told us. He said, learn from other people's mistakes. You don't live long enough to make them all yourself. And so, can I learn from my mistakes? You can laugh at yourself. Really, Christian, you did that? But we take ourselves so seriously. I mean, have you ever been really serious? You know how tense you are when you're serious? Sometimes people say, Christian, lighten up, man. Laugh a little bit more. It's like there's this tension. You don't want to hang around people that are serious. You want to be around those that take life lightly, that begin to see the present, to begin to see your follies as learning opportunities that you can laugh at, that you can learn from, that all of a sudden you're able to step into a greater expression. You're not bound to that by some karmic debt. Karma, I'm bound to this karmic wheel forever. What you got to do is make that adjustment in your mind and consciousness and begin to open up to the God perspective, to see as Spirit sees, forgive yourself, surrender some of that stuff, and step into the whole possibility that is there, because karma does not designate your destiny. You got that? Karma shows you your starting point. Cause and effect says you are starting here, but it has nothing to do with your destiny unless you continue to repeat the patterns and to believe a certain way and think that's all that you are going to get in your life. Yep. Attitude and character determine your destiny. And that is decided moment by moment. In every moment, you get to decide what's your attitude, which directs your character, and your character directs your destiny. So karma or cause and effect or what goes around comes around may have gotten you where you are, but you're not bound by that. You're the one who just says, you know what, I'm in relationship to this right now. I'm not bound by many lifetimes of screwing up. You know what? Right now, I am choosing to make this adjustment and open myself to a greater possibility because you know what? I'm a child of God. And I don't have to go out and find my heaven heavenly place or my kingdom. What I know is right where I am, the fullness, because Spirit is omnipresent. I get to be that place. I get to believe in that. And I get to know that is the truth of who I am. And I'm in relationship with that. See, all of life is about relationship. I don't know if you know that or not, but anything you encounter, you're in relationship with. Just thought I'd fill you in on that. Now, I think it's a little more helpful if you're conscious of relationship, as opposed to just going through it. And there's levels of relationship. I mean, some are more intimate, some more fun, some a little more. But anything that you have encountered is part of your relationship or your relational world. And something about relationships, everyone out there in your world is there for you. Everything going on in your world is your soul curriculum. And the more you can begin to focus in and pay attention and learn from it, the deeper you can go with it. And though it looks like the relationship is out there and that person is out there or that dynamic is over there, it's all part of the one. It's all one. See, that's really the premier level of relationships, is getting to realize that we're all one. I believe in diversity and expression and uniqueness and our brothers and sisters, but we're all one. As Arne was singing to us, his grandfather is within. Grandmother, is part of me. It's one with me. As I begin to feel that and sense that, I know that this oneness is truly the key, the wholeness, the expression of the presence of God. And it is valuable to be able to be in relationship and to relate to other things. The old story. It's been told many times about the mouse who was out with its 5 little mice behind it looking for crumbs for morning breakfast. And the cat of the house backed mom into the corner, and her 5 little micey kids went behind her, and they were shaking. The cat was ready to pounce and eat. And just as that cat was ready to pounce, the mother mouse, started barking wildly like a dog. And that cat turned around and ran off. And mom just matter-of-factly turned to her children and said, "And now, kids, you see the value of learning a second language." The second language we get to learn here is oneness. Is oneness. We are connected with that infinite. We are one with that Spirit. And as I begin to make the adjustment and stop thinking, this is bad, this is terrible, how could they have done it, and that's outside to me, and say, okay, God, I'm going to spend some time going a little bit deeper with what is catching my attention, that's saying something necessarily needs to change in my life, and I'm willing to look at it and accept it and go a little bit deeper. And what is my relationship for this adjustment that needs to take place in my life? So I can renew my mind, and that I'm not controlled by the world, but I'm transformed by the renewing of my mind. And what I come to realize is, how is this connected with me if we're all one? One of the First Nations, the Blackfoot, part of the Native Americans that were here first, the Blackfoot, when they say hello to somebody, it's not like, how you doing? How's it going? They say, Tazni da biha, Tazni ta biwa. It means, how are the connections? How are your connections? How are you connected with Mother Earth, Father Sky? How are you connected with your brothers, your sisters? How are you connected with the challenge or that vision quest? How are the connections in your life? Are they working? Are they not working? What is it that is going on that you need to know? Because what happens in our fast-moving society is we're pretty much kind of told we need to be multitasking in our world. Be able to make it in this fast-paced society. We got And, multitasking is not necessarily my thing. I'm a guy, maybe it's a gender thing, but I'm good at focusing on one thing. Callie, on the other hand, she can have all sorts of stuff going. She should be sitting on the couch or reading some article, checking the facts on her computer, and watching the Netflix thing that I'm just so engrossed in, And I say, hey, did you see that, hon? She says, see what? And I said, don't you need it? No, I don't need to see it. I know what's going on. It's like, and so we're able, some of us, to have many different things going on. But what I do know that is beyond multitasking is if you want to to experience something at a deeper level, you have to bring a full presence to it. If you want to take a look at what this issue is going on in your life, you can't just kind of do it on the side quickly over Brie and Chardonnay. You need to sit with it and be with it and go a little bit deeper and say, hey, what's going on here? What is it I need to know? What is it that I need to see? It's as we begin to present ourselves that the way opens. There's an African tradition of the Yoruba tradition that talks about this one spirit presence or deity, if you would. His name is Ishu, and Ishu is the God that opens the way. It is about what opens the way between heaven and earth. It's what opens the way between that which seems to be the sense of separation. What is going on in my life is part of the totality of my being, and it's not a mistake in my world, but I need to allow myself to be fully present and to go a little bit deeper with this experience so I can say, wow, what's going on here? What is it I need to know? Because I'll tell you what, whatever you spend your time with and are willing to go a little deeper with, it's going to reveal. George Washington Carver learned a lot about the peanut when it just had nothing else on his field of awareness. You know, in our place in Montana, we've got our front yard, we've got the grass, beautiful green grass, and then we have this knoll. And I was sure at one time the grass went up onto this wonderful knoll, but it didn't anymore. And so I decided, brainy idea, I'm going to seed it, fertilize it, and water it, and get it going again, because that's what it was asking of me. And so that's what I did at the beginning of one summer stay out there. The first day, I seeded, and then I watered it by hand. It took like a half hour to water this and get it wet and to soak it. And it was like a chore, if you want to know the truth. You know, I planted these aspen trees and grass. I had this great vision. You know, next day, I started the project, so I got to go do it again. But then after a few days, it's kind of like got into this meditation. You know, I began to water, and after about 5 days, these little green blades of grass started poking up. I'd go, Callie, you see that one? Yeah. And then they start popping up all over. And then I begin to have a relationship after a week with these little blades of grass that I'm birthing. And now I'm looking forward to going outside 20 minutes every day because there's that guy and there's that gal. And they're reaching for this cone of spray that's coming out of this hose. I'm not going to miss tomorrow. And we were going to go away for a couple of days. I said, we can't go. I've got to water my guys that are out here. And I began to understand the connectedness and the earth and the seeds and the birthing and the thought and the process and the teleki, that intelligence that is in the seed and the universe, and oneness with air. It was amazing how this one experience led me to such a depth that had absolutely to do with nothing. But I felt renewed and refreshed and passionate. And so sometimes in our life when we're so busy doing many things and not taking the time to shift our awareness and get into that deeper relationship, to have that way opened and deepened, people have hobbies. And with hobbies, people somehow just get lost and totally focused in what they do. And whether it directly opens the universe, there is a refreshing, there's a renewing, there's a totality. And what I've come to recognize is going deeper. You can do it with the grass. You can do it with the hobbies. You can do it with the stars. You can do it with something in your world that is asking for change or a challenge that is within there. You are the one who has to be willing to say, you know what, I'm putting everything else aside and I'm going to be present with what is going on in my life. And as we do that, we come back and maybe nothing grand happened, but there's a sense of being refreshed inside. And the struggle maybe hasn't disappeared. But what I've noticed is it tends to shrink to its probably appropriate size, as opposed to the grand one I've blown out in my head because let my head run off on its chatter. I mean, if you're dealing with any stress, I gave you a prayer this week. Read it. Spend time with each sentence there. If you want to eliminate stress, anxiety, and worry, spend some time with that prayer this week. It works for me. So it's here. You know, the shift, the opening has to take place in my field of awareness. So often I want it to happen out there. I want God to go out there and beat up that person or that situation. You know, my God's bigger than yours. Let's get the fight going. But Spirit is there. There's no battle. I'm the one who's got to come into alignment with it for the shift and the change to happen in life. You know, there were a couple guys that were drinking in the bar. They were drinking pretty heavy. Night was moving on. And one of the guys leaned over to his buddy and said, dude, you better stop drinking. I think you're drinking too much. Your face is getting blurry. We want to change out there. It all takes place inside of ourself. All change. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What you think is beautiful may not be beautiful to somebody else. You know, the change is taking place inside of you. That is where it's got to happen. You know, Emerson said that our shadows are a result of standing in our own sunlight. Yeah, this is like the Transcendentalists a long time ago. Our shadows are standing in our own sunlight. The sun's shining, guys. But if there's something out of balance in your world, it's an indicator, Christian, you need to pay attention here. You need to go a little bit deeper because something needs to change. If nothing needed to change, you wouldn't be noticing it, but it's something is calling to you. And as you begin to bring your essence to the situation, you're going to find a greater strength you wouldn't have known because there's a magnitude of something that is calling you that's going to match it. But you've got to know, like that prodigal kid who went home, you know what? I belong here. Not, please, Dad, let me talk you into why I should only be a servant. That's what we do with God. We made a mistake or something happened, the world's not working for a long time. It's like, oh God, let me just tell you why you can get by with giving me the minimal here. You know, you got to remember you're a child of the Most High. No matter what has happened in your life, in your world, no matter how you have been hurt or damaged or betrayed or misjudged or trespassed or whatever, forgiveness is a big key. It's a big key. It makes you available to be able to recognize who you truly are, an expression of the oneness, you know, where the grandfathers live and the grandmothers live. It's all there. I mean, this week we had somebody come over. We needed a doorknob in our house. And so, you know, this guy, the worker, he came on over. You know, we told him where it was, went up, fixed the door. He didn't stop at the refrigerator and grab a drink on the way by. Yeah. He didn't stop on the couch to watch some TV or go outside and hang by the pool. He went, took care of the doorknob, and left just fine. Now, Trevor, on the other hand, you know, my son, when he comes home from school, also Callie's son, but he'll drop his backpack pretty much where he wishes, unless mom's around, and you know, and he'll you know, go into the pantry and grab something if he wants some chips. He doesn't ask me whether he's going to get some hummus out of the refrigerator. He just grabs it, goes upstairs, kicks off his shoes wherever he wants, puts his feet up, turns on the TV, and fires up his laptop if he could sneak it by mom. You know, and he didn't ask. See, there's a big difference between being a servant, being a worker, or being a child of the Father. He acted like that place is, our house is his, which it is. You know, but, you know, that's that sense. You got to be willing. The Bible says, go to the throne boldly. Go boldly to the throne. Let us do your prayers boldly as if you are entitled, that you're a child of the kingdom. It has all been given to you. You are the one who has denied it. Remember this oneness thing that you're learning relationship to? It's been given to you already. You like that? Okay. So a well-told story of a kid, young guy. This is a long time ago in Europe when, you know, you used to have to get a passage on a steamliner across the Atlantic. You know, it took a month or longer. This young guy wanted to come over, and he did everything he could to get enough money to purchase the ticket. Bless his soul, he got the ticket, didn't have enough money for meals, so he just bought a bunch of cheese, crackers, put in the suitcase, and he got on the ship. And so over the next weeks, every night, he'd sit outside the dining hall, and he'd watch people go in. He'd eat his cheese, eat the crackers. You know, it was okay. You know, he had a plan. He figured he's on the ship. Going across, he could smell the food. You guys been on cruises, right? Coming out there. It sounded good. Last a few days, somebody's going in and said, hey, kiddo, man, I see you sitting out there in the corner every night. Why don't you come on in? And he was kind of embarrassed, said, you know, I only had enough money for a ticket. I don't have a thing. Well, come on, sit with me, because I'm afraid to tell you, but, you know, all your meals were included in the tickets you purchased. We come into this world thinking, I need to pay for this, and I need to, it has all been given. You know, if you're struggling with some mistakes, your forgiveness ticket's already been paid. You know, you're struggling with scarcity in your world, it's already been paid up. Abundance is yours now. You know, if you're dealing with fear, know that your peace has been paid up in advance. It is already yours. What has to happen is the adjustment in your consciousness. You know, do not allow the ways of this world, don't conform by the ways of this world, by the headlines, the peoples, the fears, those things that are being projected through you, through all the different marketing medias that go. It's like, fear, anxiety, stress, multitask. It doesn't have to be yours. Don't be conformed by the way of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Take time with the relationships that are before you to go a little bit deeper and to recognize that it is an opportunity for your soul to merge more into the wholeness of your being. And in this realization comes the manifestation, the greater expression. And what you need in your life is going to show up. Spirit is amazing. It is ingenious with its ways in which to get you out of your predicaments. Realize that? Ingenious in ways in which it can support you to be free of whatever challenge you are in. And in these weeks of healing, the key today is you are the one who has to make that adjustment. And I want you to know, I stand here knowing that what is on the inside, if you begin to believe that more than what's on the outside, then what's on the inside is going to show up on the outside. But if you don't change what's going on here, it's not going to show up out there. So what I want you to know is, I know for you that you are a child of the Most High, that the kingdom has been given to you, that I want so much for you to experience your freedom and your richness, and that out of the ashes, the beauty has already been paid for you. Out of your struggle, the freedom has already been given. Out of whatever it is that seems to be plaguing you, that the answer is ingeniously placed right before you, but sometimes you just need to go deeper than multitasking with all the things you don't want. And find out what is most important to your soul and your spirit. And that's the one that keeps knocking on your door. Says, maybe you want to change a little bit here. Maybe you want a little bit more shift. What may have served you may not be serving right now. So what I want for you to know is that I know you are royalty, that you're a divine expression on this planet, that your presence blesses me, blesses this community, and that your greater good is downloading into your life right now. Bless you as you experience the fullness of this shift in your world. God bless you. Hey. Woo. Hey. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Arne back to our stage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Oh, wow. I think I must have time traveled because that message you just delivered, I wrote a song about it about a year ago.
One mind, one
Who
spirit,
knew?
timeless.
Who knew? At that space of forgiveness, recognizing it's self-forgiveness, and being awakened by this song floating through my head. And I was obedient, got up, and it came out. 10 minutes, whole song. It's called Reveal It to Heal It. It's a little personal. I think some people here may be able to relate. Somebody hurt your feelings. Somebody hurt your pride. Somebody disappointed you. And somebody fed you lies. Our hardest lessons are our greatest blessings. Love is your grace. Surrender is your way. Reveal it to heal it. Let no will get you to the other side. Oh yes, I'm a witness. I believe. I woke up that morning with this song. I believe in love. Woo! Thank you.
That is Arne Batson. Woo, Arne. Man, that was a good one you downloaded. I like that. I believe that love. Yeah. Ooh, love is it. All right, well, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift, to share our love, to share our offering. And as you give, it comes back. But it's not why you do it, but that's how it happens when you step into that flow. But as you continue to practice that regular systematic support of Spirit's work, you'll find your world is just enriched and it's blessed by the regular consistency of Spirit showing up in all areas of your life. That's why you're in partnership. And remember, it's God first, always, and always Spirit shows up first when you are brought to a place of question and concern. For you turn to that power, not what the world has thrown at you with fear and anxiety, but you turn to that which you have experienced by going deeper and deeper. And so this is the time where we say, hey, Spirit is the power that gives me to experience the wealth. And so thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward. I want to say thank you to this group. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that practice the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. And so I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the fullness of the divine unfolds its expression as our very life. We become that wonderful vortex and through which that abundance moves, just purging out anything that doesn't belong because we've continued to partner with the infinite. So that love and that presence of God moves right now as our very life right here in this very moment. So with a sense of well-being, we give with joy, knowing that this joyous love, well-being goes out, this energetic to all those that comes in contact, bringing that wave of divine blessings. And so with joy, we share, with joy, we receive, and we just sit with a wonderful resonance, with a deep sense of peace and security that the source that we are channeling through is inexhaustible. It is infinite. It is overflowing. And that is our very experience. And so with joy, we say, thank you, Father God, for allowing me to play in the affluent flow of life. And so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. rocking the house today. Get right in that groove. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring of the love and the caring and the compassion for truly the blessings and the grace of God that has enriched our life has been shared. And it's from this wonderful sharing that I know that the giver's life has just been touched in those ways that are perfect and real. The abundance and the good and the health continues to be the experience of the wonderful conduits that each of us has chosen to be. And so this collective gift makes a profound difference in the operation, the moving forward of this spiritual community. These gifts have been made in love, they're received in love, they're handled in good stewardship, and they're put back into the flow so that wonderful stream and consciousness in which they were shared continue to bring blessings to everyone. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment, and so it is. Amen. All right. This is John. He is one of your board members here at Seaside, always taking such good care of us. Got a golf tournament coming up. I know you got your eyes on that. So, Arne, oh my goodness, so good to have you back in the house. Love your voice, your spirit, your presence, your choices of songs. It just lifted the whole vibration of the place today. It was ideal. And Danielle, always a joy to share Sunday mornings with you. Your presence is just so soothing and comforting. Thank you for your wonderful artistic direction. Giving us sound today, Matthew, thank you. Visuals, Marv, thank you. And know that there are CDs available right after the service if you want to pick one up. But also know that you can watch it on live streaming we go, but it's archived. So wonderful camera crew, thank you so much. And Edwin, bless you for your wonderful organization and orchestration of that wonderful team. Also, you can listen to the podcast. You can have it downloaded onto your phone. Go to Joyous Podcasts. There's no cost. So you can always purchase the CD, but I want you to know you can also have it for free. But share it with people. That is the key. We want to share it and get the word out to the world. So, hit share on Facebook. Say, check out Seaside. It is happening. Friday night, be here. Ricky Byers, take that flyer. Take that flyer out there to the world and share it. It's in your program. So do pick up your ticket today for sure. But today after the service, what we've got going on here is back the basic beliefs. If you've been wanting to know about religious science and the basic ideas of this principle, just go into the room behind the kitchen. It's called the Emerson Room, the guy I quoted. We named it after him. And Ginny is going to be leading for about maybe 45 minutes or so, a wonderful intro to the philosophy. That's available. The choir's going on. So I know Sasha's working on, but Keith, you're leading them on Easter morning, right? Right from Agape to the Seaside. And, Arne, you guys go way back. Also, in the program, did you see the catalog? Deb Sadler put together a fabulous catalog for the summer. Take a look at that and see which classes you want to be in. There are great classes, and life just works better when you're in class. We got a new teacher in the house, the Reverend Dr. Brian Anderson. He's got a class up there, I see. So, Brian, it's going to be a good one for sure. So, pick out which one it is you want to enjoy, or 2 or 3. Nothing says you got to. Also, let's see, Good Earth Day. The Seaside Sisters and Callie and some of our friends from the Soul of Yoga are putting together an Earth Day reverence on Good Friday night out in the garden. So it's a good way to start that Easter weekend. And then, of course, Easter morning at 6 a.m., bright and early going on out there. You want to see the rabbits running, the birds singing. And Bob, we have any doves this year to release? He moved on us, huh? Oh, man. With the stories we could tell of the birds flying into the building were never good. Or landing in that lady's hair when I was praying. She was screaming, Holy Spirit's landing. No. Yeah. We had a lot of fun, that's for sure. There's a lot in the Sunday program. Take a look, see where it is you want to play. We've got a men's group that's coming up. Let's see. We've got new member. Next Sunday's new member, by all means. If you've been thinking of joining Seaside, next Sunday's the Sunday we're going to have you stand up on stage, share your name. We're taking you out to lunch to this wonderful Italian restaurant that I can't pronounce, but it's right down there overlooking the ocean down on Birmingham. So sign up with Susan today or Tina and do it. Also, I got a list of people who are watching us online. You got James Kaplan, our corporate pilot, who knows where he is. We got Cher, we got Emily, we got Becky, Dennis, Kelly Roberts, Daniel Pikopoulos, Kim, Sander, and the list goes on. We know you're out there. We love your writing, your support, and your gifts. Keep them coming. Know our prayers are prayed on daily by our practitioners. So send in the prayer request. But what I want to do is say hello to any of our youth that want to talk to me this morning. So, hello. Did you want to say something? Did you go for ice cream today?
No, I missed it.
Oh, man. Anybody else want to share? No? Okay. Well, we still can love you up anyway with our affirmation, which, oh, wait a second. Yes, what would you like to share?
We talked about balance,
Ah.
and also my leopard Dottie. She said her name is Dottie. She's 7 years old, and how she balances is with her feet and how she runs.
Oh, nice. Very good. You come in for Easter? Easter egg hunt? All right. Well, let's say together our affirmation for our children, which is, we see you, we love you, and we support you in your magnificence. So I'm going to pray. It's all about healing. It's all these words. It's about lifting consciousness. Music, not about entertainment. It's about lifting consciousness. Everything that's been going on, it carries us to this place. I want to invite any of our licensed practitioners or ministers to stand in this moment so we all can feel this vibrational uplift, this moment in which that divine presents itself in a way that is profound and wonderful and divine for the richness the Spirit is moving in this moment. And so I make that shift, that adjustment in my field of awareness so I can become greater available. My availability is enhanced to the divine download in this moment. I allow myself to breathe into this wonderful resonant field of spirit and its richness and its blessings and its grace. I know right now that very life force that created all things continues to be that creative factor within my life. And I come to recognize my oneness with it, that there's nothing outside of me, that truly as I begin to allow the adjustment to take place within, it outpictures in the outer world in which I walk. For truly there is only one, and that is Spirit, and it is omnipresent, and so I know that Spirit is everywhere. I need not send it anywhere to take care of my business, but rather I come into alignment with this wonderful vibration of the divine, beginning to see as Spirit sees. I'm beginning to know, as God knows in this moment, the truth of my life, which is the life of Spirit expressing in this world. That Spirit absolutely has its way in this moment. Feel it, sense it, become available to it, letting go of your defensiveness for the pain or the difficulty or the question, and be willing to change it up here. Find the courageousness to say yes to stepping in to a new kind of internal connectedness, a new kind of relational experience with the infinite right in the midst of that which you are questioning. Know that the fullness and the grace of God is having its way, and healing happens. Constriction ceases. The divine flows. Shifts take place. Healing moves. For the grace of God is here now. For the wonder and the blessing of Spirit moves in this moment. And I am just so thankful to stand as a witness to the greater expression of life as my life is your life. For I know for each and every member of this spiritual community, a greater sense of freedom, a greater sense of creativity, a greater sense of that abundant flow, a greater sense of health, a greater sense of claiming the royalty of being. For the divine inheritance is expressing itself as our very life now in those ways that are relevant. So lift into consciousness any area that might be constricted or struggling or out of ease, and know that that is the human reaction, the human experience, but it is not the spiritual truth. And I now move deeper into my relationship and my connection with that infinite, knowing that there is only one, and I am one, and it is manifesting in my life in the perfect way. I don't need to tell God what to do. It guides the universe. It is that wisdom that is moving in each of our lives right now. And healing happens in relevant, constructive, real kind of life experiences now. Feel the peace that comes from this kind of knowing. The deep sense of security, knowing that you rest upon Spirit. Feel those floodgates of good opening up and pouring forth the blessings and the richness and the health. Finding your relationships are intimate and honest, and revealing that you are honest enough to sit with what is up in your life and to see in a deeper kind of way, not being distracted, multitasking with all sorts of things, but inviting that way opener to move you to a deeper resonance of the realization of the presence of God. And with this kind of realization, healing happens perfectly as our life, before we even knew we were in need. I know every prayer request that has been brought forth to Seaside is now answered. It is fulfilled. It is happening. Daniel Pikopoulos, that right where he is, that whatever treatments his body is undergoing, it is a divine collaboration between the medical modalities and the spiritual expression, and healing happens in physical form. I see Sally Crawford in the house today. We surround her with love as she has released her mom into her transition into the next realm, the next dimension of self-expression, knowing she moves on with those wonderful currents. And our love for our sister is expressed. For there is a peace in this house and a trust. Seaside is thriving and is growing. It is about Spirit's business. It is putting vision first. It continues to bring forth great projects. This Friday night, Ricky Byers' event, it is a success. It is thriving. It is music. It is transforming. It is healing. It is soul stirring. Easter and Good Friday, things are going on. Classes are thriving because we are fulfilling those spiritual requests that have been put out. Something powerfully good is happening at Seaside. It is growing, it is alive, it is dynamic because the members of this community's lives are growing, moving to an ever greater conscious connection. Something profoundly great is taking place right here. This is holy ground in which there is the emergence of that spirit and the conscious co-creative expression as our lives is having its way. And I am grateful that anything that is denied or blocked, that returns to the nothingness from which it came. And what remains is the health, the vitality, the trust, being the divine download. I stand with gratitude, not to anyone or anything outside of myself. I just stand with a heart full of appreciation and thanksgiving for the good, for the omnipresence, for the life that is, that I am. I live in the land of the I am. Knowing this is the truth, I let it go. It's not mine to make it happen. It is mine to step into that flow. I let go and allow Spirit to have its healing way with me now. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right, nice job. Hey, and our affirmation for the week is a divine shift has opened my awareness to greater good. Together, a divine shift has opened my awareness to greater good. Touch your heart and say that again. A divine shift has opened my awareness to greater good. One more time, like it's really your truth. Together, a divine shift has opened my awareness to greater good.
everyone.
I'll bring if you want, I have a couple of mouthpieces you can try. I don't have them today. I have them at home. I have this is a Selmer G, a little too big for me, but I have a Selmer E that's a little too small for me. And then I have a metal light that's got a baffle in it that will definitely be. Well, they didn't have an F. I was playing a C is like what comes with the horns of E and F. So it's a little bit bigger than just a regular stock Selmer mouthpiece. But the metal one will give you a more bright tone that won't be clarinet-like. Then you got to try different things and find what you like. See,